The purpose of this trip was to create a 3-day writing retreat for myself in beautiful Sedona, Arizona. I recently began writing children's picture books and wanted to give myself 3 days alone with no distractions, interruptions, and really dive into the creative process. Studies show that 3 days is kind of that, 3 days in nature is kind of that sweet spot to calm your mind down from a busy and hectic lifestyle. So I hope I can inspire you to do the same thing for yourself if you are creative in any capacity. I plan to spend a lot of time writing and a lot of time outdoors, but for now, I have a lot of writing to do. One thing I did in advance of this writer's retreat is I did some goal setting for myself. I didn't want to get out here and just be floating around without any direction. So I did some overall goals for the whole 3 days, and then I did some goal setting for each day. And I just wrote down my goals for today, and I've just been crossing them off as I've gotten some things finished. And I've been working a long time now, so I'm gonna take a little break and go outside. Bring along a journal so that you can record any thoughts that are unlocked through your senses regarding your writing, whether it's the next setting for your book, a tone for your story, or that lyrical language that you've been after. I love this little spot. You have the sound of the birds, the beautiful sound of the rushing water over rocks. Someday I'm gonna have a house with a bedroom next to the sound of rushing water. It's my favorite sound in the world. I always find that these nature sounds also just give me that boost of creative juice and energy. And look what I stumbled across. There is a rope swing ready to go out over the water. It's actually starting to rain. Maybe I'll come try that tomorrow. And I love this because one of my book characters is named Willow, and she loves to be outside. And in my book, she goes off a rope swing. So I think this is just perfect that I stumbled across this. When I see things in nature that inspire me, I feel like the creative possibilities are endless. For example, this cactus could serve as a main character. It could be a protagonist, antagonist. The possibilities are endless. I love this morning view of Elephant Rock right outside my window. Perfect way to wake up. Okay, doesn't this backyard space just scream peaceful writer's retreat? It's so lovely. This morning I am starting on Soldiers Pass Trail. I've been on this trail before and love it, and I've wanted to do it again. So here I go. This spot along Cathedral Rock is called Seven Sacred Pools for an obvious reason. I don't know if there's a story behind it, but I'm going to encourage you to get in the habit of finding stories everywhere you look. Perhaps there's a story here that could be made up about this spot, whether it be a myth or a legend. So just you can find inspiration for story writing anywhere you look when you're out in nature. It rained last night and the earth is releasing these heavenly desert smells that I wish I could just send through the screen for you to enjoy as well. I am so thankful for this sign right now because got a little lost on the trail. Started to panic a little bit, and I've been lost my whole life, have a horrible sense of direction, and was starting to go into that, you're so stupid, why are you on a trail alone talk? But then I met 2 more parties who were also confused. So I think the rain has kind of washed some of the trail away and made it a little less clear. So I was really thankful for that sign. If you get lost on a trail, if you see rocks put up like this that look like it's blocking off a path, that means that's not the right way. And if you see this little structure, that means you're on the right track. So this helps people with 0 sense of direction like me. Now that I'm not lost anymore, one thing I like to do when I'm out hiking related to my writing is either create a new story in my head or to work on an existing story that I have in the works. So I'm thinking of one manuscript in particular that I know there's just some problems in it, and I know there's this one section that's just not quite right, and I need to work on. So I'm gonna spend the rest of this hike working on that part in my head to see if I can come up with a different direction for the story. I'm obsessed with the beauty of desert plants. Look at this Perry's agave. I just am always in wonder and awe that something so beautiful can grow from rocky soil. So just like our stories can grow into something beautiful from a blank page. This part of Soldiers Pass Trail is a pretty cool geological site. This is what is known as Devil's Kitchen Sinkhole. Pretty freaky. And that part, that northern whole part of the sinkhole, it collapsed in 1989. I would not have wanted to be here for that. If you find yourself in Sedona and want to do Soldiers Pass like I did, just know that this is the parking area. There's only 14 spots. It opens at 8 a.m., closes at 6 p.m. So get here early. I was here about 7:55 and there are already about 2 or 3 people waiting, and I did get a spot. So just want to let you know that piece of information, because there is really no parking around this area. You would have to take a shuttle. So I just finished Soldiers Pass Trail. Did it in a little over 2 hours, 4.5 miles. I went kind of slow. I stopped and smelled the agave along the way. But my plan worked, and I was really able to focus in on one area of one of my manuscripts I've been struggling with, and I have so many great ideas, so I cannot wait to rush home and type them out. But first, I had to stop at Ace Hardware for Frost Top root beer. I don't know why it tastes better from Ace. You just have to go to Ace Hardware to get it. Just like Dr. Pepper tastes better in Texas, it's a fact, it just does. I couldn't wait to get back here and apply the changes to my manuscript that came to me as I was out hiking. And I just want to share a little story with you. And even if you're not a writer, you could apply this to another area of your life. But a few months ago, I had the chance to take a picture book writing course and submit a manuscript to my teacher for feedback. And she sent me back the feedback and critique. While I found it very helpful and valuable, I just had to set it aside. It just wasn't the right time for me. I just needed some space, time away from it. But I went back and reread the critique last night, and I took one suggestion that she made that really resonated with me, and I meditated on that while I was hiking, and it made all the difference in my manuscript. So if you get constructive criticism, any feedback, advice, you don't have to take all of it at once, whether it's for writing or just anything, any area in your life. Just take one little bit, and it could make all the difference in whatever you're working on. A writer's retreat would not be complete without a trip to the library, and this public library in Sedona is just beautiful inside and out. And take a look at the statue. This is the Sedona Miller Schneebly, who Sedona was named after. Look at how cool this is. You just set the books on the pad and it scans the barcodes, and you can do a few at a time, so you don't have to stand here and then manually check them out. So cool. Do you think this is enough books? But honestly, I can't wait to go home and read them all. Do you hear that thunder? I love it. So back from the library with my haul. So it's read while it's raining afternoon again. And if you want to master a craft, you have to study a craft. So here goes. So I just have to share the first picture book I picked up. Benford Draws a Blank. See this blank page here? And the author says, she highlights the importance of believing in yourself, having confidence, and trusting your talent in this encouraging picture book. After all, there are no mistakes in art, just chances to be creative and inspired. Let's just all live by that mantra. So, little thing about food on this writer's retreat. I went to Trader Joe's ahead of time before I got here and just picked up some things, easy things to keep in my freezer, grab and go. I didn't have to worry about cooking. I mean, by all means, cook if you want to, but don't cook. Just really maximize your time. That's what I've been doing. It's been great because I just feel like I haven't lost any time having to worry about food, going out to eat, cooking. So that's what I've done. You can do whatever you want, but it's worked for me. I'm a newbie writer, and I always pictured writers, authors just locking themselves in a room for 12 hours at a time, just grinding away. But maybe some people do that. I don't know. It doesn't work for me. I've been kind of spending a couple hours working, then taking a break. So right now I'm taking a break on an evening walk, and can you look and see I have a sweatshirt on in August in Arizona? What? But it poured rain and actually cooled the air off. And then also I get to see these incredible views. It's just so pretty, so beautiful. So I'm enjoying my walk, and then I'll get back and just get busy again. Look at the way the light is hitting the mountain. It is so, so incredibly beautiful. I'm beginning my day in this beautiful, peaceful backyard area, and I'm just gonna do a little goal setting before I dig in today. Yesterday, I was just really wanted to hit the ground, run in and get my body moving, so I went hiking first thing. And then today, I just feel calmer, so I'm just gonna stay here and see what the day brings. You know, time in nature, it really inspires a sense of awe, which leads to expansive thinking, which leads to creating fresh ideas. So I'm hoping I can create some fresh ideas today. Also, I think how I woke up feeling the last 2 days, just go with how you're feeling. Even if you've made a plan to, I'm gonna get up and work for 2 hours, if you'd rather go on a walk or go move your body, do that. I think listening to our bodies will help our brains to work better, and the ideas will flow in a more natural way. Also, one more thing, I have never had a cup of coffee my whole entire life. I'm just wondering how many of you out there, are you coffee or tea drinkers? I'm a tea drinker, love the smell of coffee, love coffee shops, cannot stand the taste, actually makes me physically sick. Is there anyone else out there like that? I feel like I'm the only person on earth. This morning I am hiking Cathedral Rock Trail, and I'm actually going to hike to the top of that rock. Here's the base of the trailhead of Cathedral Rock, and I'm gonna do something I've never done before. I bought a head strap for my GoPro, and so I'm gonna hike with it on the whole time so I can show you this whole hike, and we'll see how it turns out. So I made it to what is considered kind of the top spot of Cathedral Rock, but I'm gonna go a little bit more, extend my journey in between those rocks right there. This hike is really exposed. I did no creative thinking. I was focusing on my steps, my breath. I was going pretty swiftly. I made it up here in about 23 minutes. So I'm gonna hope I can get in a quiet, shady spot between those rocks and just do a little meditating. This is what I'm talking about right here, kind of tucked away. Not many people continue on that part of the trail. I think they think it ends, but I love it, and I found my little shaded spot by my cactus friend here, but don't get too close to your cactus friend. Oops. So, total amateur writer here. I forgot my journal and pen. So I'm just gonna sit here and meditate and let the ideas flow through my body, and hopefully I can recall them when I get back.
How's it going? I'm Ben McKelvey. I'm from Annapolis, Maryland. This is my first time out in Sedona.
What do you think, Ben?
This is one of the coolest hikes I've ever been on. We've been to Colorado, a few other places out west, but there's nothing like this in Maryland. So I'm hyped to be here and looking forward to seeing some more. So
I'm glad you love it. I always love awesome. Meeting first timers. Enjoy.
Good stuff.
So there is a parking lot here at Cathedral Rock Trailhead. It looks like they don't provide public access anymore, because when I got here I was redirected to a shuttle stop about 2 miles north of the parking lot. But that was super easy. I just parked there and then got on a shuttle, and it was super quick. So not an inconvenience at all. But do make sure you check out the shuttle schedule. Go to sedonashuttle.com and it'll give you a list of shuttle stops, times, what trails it takes you to. So again, first time using it, but it was super convenient and easy. So this idea I had to spend time in nature, hopefully being inspired creatively, is actually really working. I'm not just saying that. I'll be honest, I was a little worried I was going to get out here and go all Jack Nicholson and write the same sentence over and over again on my computer, but that has not happened. And hiking Cathedral Rock today completely inspired me with 2 new manuscripts. My goal before I came out here was to come up with 2 new fresh ideas for manuscripts, and I did. And appreciation in nature, it's believed to calm the prefrontal cortex, which allows our brain to access other regions, which leads to fresh insights and new ideas. And that is what happened for me today. It was actually really exciting. So I've already been doing a little deep dive into some character study. These new ideas for books are going to take a little bit of research, which I cannot wait to dive into. Y'all check out my little lizard friend. I was just coming out to read some books, and look who is joining me for story time. Listen, there is nothing more satisfying than being able to read outside while it's raining but still be undercover. So I am taking some time out from writing because there's no writing without reading. The two go hand in hand, always. And this book is I Must Betray You by Ruth Sepetys. I read her Salt to the Sea book and loved it. Thought I would check out this one, and it takes place in Romania, which feeds into my lifelong obsession with Nadia Comaneci and Romania. When I was 4 years old, I could find Romania on a globe in about 0.2 seconds, which was a great party trick my parents used when they had friends over. So I am super excited about this book. There's another rope swing. This morning I'm hiking Brewer Trail, and it is very close to where I'm staying, so I just was able to walk to the trailhead. When I get to this marker, I'm going to take the Sedona View Trail, which is this way. I love the top of this trail. You get this beautiful 360 view of Sedona. There's actually a bunch of photographers out this morning. It rained almost all night last night, so there are these remaining low clouds which just make the sky so pretty right now. So I just want to tell you a quick little story. I think there's a myth that people tell themselves, oh, I'm not a creative. I don't have a creative bone in my body. And I just think that's simply not true. I thought that about myself for a very, very long time until I was in grad school and getting my master's in education, and took a class, art education class, taught by this delightful woman named Sunny Purville. And she had us go outside one day and just collect things in nature off the ground, acorns, leaves, twigs, whatever we could find. And we took them back to the classroom and we made these critters, and it was so much fun. And I hadn't done something like that in so long, and I felt like it just unleashed this creative side of me. I know that sounds funny, just making this nature critter, but it was from that point on that I really had a shift in my mindset and thought, you know what? I am creative. There is creativity buried inside of me. It just has to be unleashed in a certain way. So if you don't think you're creative, and if you look at other people and think, oh my gosh, they're so much more creative than me. But, I mean, maybe we all have different talents, but you are creative. You just are. I know it. One thing I've learned about myself on this trip is that while I love being out in nature, getting ideas and being inspired creatively in nature, I don't love to ride outdoors. I would prefer to ride indoors. I have a major squirrel brain. I'm easily distracted, so I think when I'm outside, it's just hard for me to focus on my riding. I just want to keep looking at my surroundings and taking it all in. So That's okay though. I've accepted it, and indoors is just where I can write best. What about you? If you're a writer, where is your favorite place to write? And if you're any type of creative, where do you get your inspiration? I would love to hear. Put it in the comments, let me know. I love this gate that leads out to this tranquil garden backyard where I've been spending so much time this week. This gate actually reminds me of one of my favorite books, The Secret Garden. So I love it. I've never done anything like this for myself, so if you've done a writer's retreat, maybe you have some ideas of things I could apply for next time I do this. And if you haven't been to Sedona, I highly recommend it. You will be inspired by its beauty. So I hope I've inspired you to take some time out for yourself, no matter where you are in your creative journey. It will be completely worth it. Also, just know, this hasn't been perfect. I've still been fielding calls from home, and I actually managed to make one of my kids angry from several states away. Still had to pay bills, still had to deal with faulty sprinkler system issues from afar. So you're never truly away, but it does help.